And just like that, here we are again, season 3, episode 3. This time I'm going to start this off on a positive note, okay? I am positive this show is never going to get better. That's it. That's the most positive thing I can say. And I'm saying it to be sarcastic asshole, not sarcastic haha. And you'll understand when I make my comment why I'm using that analogy for my sarcasm throughout this video. Let's get started. I'm going to start it off by character, like I always do, because it's the only way I can remember any part of this story. And it just flows better in my mind after I've watched it. And yet again, it's number 1, which I yet again believe it's all my fault. So I do apologize for continuing to try to watch it so I can continuously try to remember what the hell's going on in the show. I'm going to do the short-term characters that seem to have had very little to do in this episode other than yippee yappy or, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to start off with Anthony. And also to the people that may have commented that I should always look or try to look in the camera, I do apologize for that. It's because I'm actually remembering the scenes in my mind as I'm speaking to you because I don't do the scripted. So if I'm looking not at the camera, looking down or up, it's because I'm rolling literally back in my mind what is going on that I could remember at that moment. So please do forgive me when I do that. Now that we got all the niceties out of the way, let's get started. Okay, Anthony. Anthony has opened up his hot boy bread shop officially, and he is a little concerned that the soft opening that he is starting for that day is soft because of lack of hot boy bread men who are buff but don't have the right amount of loaf to attract customers. Literally, this is the entire episode scene for him. He is at his restaurant. He is upset that, none of the patrons are coming in, even though he has all his steroid-induced short-loafed men outside trying to gather people to come into the store. And the 4 amigas are in the store, are the only patrons at the moment. And that's another story that I'll get into. But let's just focus on Anthony for a second now. He is upset because Lisa Todd Wexley has not showed up with her bevies of beauties of Upper East Side rich women who are going to come in and help with the soft opening. He's upset that his boyfriend Giuseppe is not willing to put on the uniform and work anymore because he's a poet and he doesn't want to be, used in that matter. That's perfectly reasonable to me. So he is left with whatever he has hanging out outside and the 4 amigas in the restaurant or his shop. Let's make this quick. He asks Charlotte, why is Lisa not showing up with her friends? Charlotte gets offended because she feels like she's a mom influencer. I don't know what that is. I don't. And suddenly Lisa and her bevy of rich friends show up and he's happy for the first opening. Doesn't make it happen again for the second opening, but let's go track down how this all happens. The next scene we have him complaining in the dinner that he is with Giuseppe, Charlotte, and her family that his boyfriend is not willing to put on the hot boy pants and show off his well-endowed loaf. I'm trying to be clean. You should know what I mean. You're smart people, right? That's why we're watching this show, because we want to not make them allow us to be stupid people, right? That's the plan, right? Giuseppe tells him he doesn't want to continue doing this anymore. So Anthony gets upset. He feels not violent, but he feels like he's not helping him with his store. Okay, sure. We'll go with that. The next scene you see them with legitimately is Anthony is trying to bring in patrons into his store with his man magic. Unsuccessfully, because people are just walking on by. And suddenly you just see Giuseppe in the onesie and loaf in hand, because we haven't seen that enough in this show. It's like I feel like I'm watching, and forgive me for saying this, a gay man's version of Herman's Head. Bunch of different things happening, and I'm just relegated to see what is happening that I don't even want to know anymore. I don't want to know about this. We know this already. We've gone through this. This is a continuing theme. It's like, come on now. Can we move past this? Can we give some texture to this character other than the loaf in his pants? Pantman? So he comes walking by, and Anthony is happy because he showed up for him, loaf in pants. And suddenly 2 patrons that were walking by Anthony has decided to turn around because they saw Giuseppe's package and agreed to now go into Anthony's shop just based on that. My second problem is, do these writers go out to New York? Is this filmed in New York? Do they do anything in it? People don't do that. Not real New Yorkers. We'll look, but that's not going to attract us to a store. I'm sorry. It's going to take a lot more than one guy with a loaf and a half to want me to walk in and buy a bread. If anything, I'm going to question what the hell's going on with the bread. What kind of yeast are you using back there, bro? It's just like a stupid, I don't know what they're trying to do. Like maybe in the 70s, maybe in the 80s, that might have happened. But honey, we can see this loaf anytime, anywhere, any point. Just turn on the TV. You could order it. You could find it. It's not a mystery. And I would think that if my loved one asked me to do that, I would be a little offended. And So we're in fantasy land of the writers. So he makes them happy. They walk in and now they have a business. And that's it. That's Anthony. Ah, love. Gay or not, it makes no sense on this show. That's why we love this show. Next. Miranda. I usually put her on with the 3 ding-dongs, but she had such a short scene, so I guess they just feathered her in so they can give on the other 3, 4 amigas some shine. So, Miranda. I'm going to make it quick. She makes sarcastic remarks to Carrie about her love life and Aiden. She finally gets a key to Carrie's Gramercy Park townhouse. And in those moments of her getting a key, she makes a quick remark to Carrie about her storyline and how she's going to meet up with Aiden, which I'll get into. You just wait for that. I know you're going to love it. And as Carrie insults her and says, I'd like for you to cease and desist on the sarcasm, I'm just trying to figure this all out with Aiden, she makes the comment of, well, I'm sorry, I thought I was being ha-ha funny, but I guess I'm coming off ah-ha asshole. I want to be clear. I know I'm coming off ah-ha asshole. There's no confusion. Don't confuse me for anything else. I'm coming off ah-ha asshole. She tells Carrie that she's finally kind of sort of asked out BBC girl just for a drink to ask her faux questions about her faux concern and about something. So bottom line, they go out to dinner and they fill each other up in the bar, and that's it. And that's how we see Miranda. Am I bringing joy to this? Subscribe. There's more coming. Trust me. Round 2. Now that we got the strawberry shortcakes of the show out of the way, let's dive into Lisa Tog Wesley, LTW, and her storyline, or lack thereof. Lisa's upset. Well, yeah. Rightfully so? No. Her whole story arc is that her documentary for 1,000 years based on what we don't know yet because it's been 1,000 years. It still have not been completed for 1,000 years. And that her editor, who has stuck by her for 1,000 years, has decided to take another job with someone that knows how to finish a project or a documentary in a reasonable time, not 1,000 years. And Lisa gets upset because she's losing the editor to someone who is much more stable and has been able to provide the said service and finish documentaries and apparently an Oscar-winning movie. So Lisa is upset because she feels slighted that her friend, who waited for her for 1,000 years to finish this, and we don't know the time frame of how much longer. It could be another 1,000 years. We just know that as per speaking to each other, not to us, to give us any context of where we are in this documentary. Is there an end? Is there a middle? Are we in the beginning? I don't know. But apparently, she stuck by her. And the reason why it's been 1,000 years is because in between the editor waiting for her, Lisa, to get her crap together, Lisa's been busy, I don't know, having a life and having children and being a mom and being a wife. Wow. That is amazing that you actually pulled that out of your ass and said that to your friend who has been waiting, that this documentary was supposed to take only a year. Now, I am presuming that this friend has done work outside of this waiting on the perch scenario, because she got an offer from another person, Steve McQueen, to do the editing there. So I can't imagine that she's been sitting waiting. But, you know, I could be wrong because we don't know anything about this storyline, nor have we had any juicy details or context. We haven't followed along for 1,000 years. We haven't seen many clips of this 1,000-year journey. We don't really know. We just get peppered in these stories at some given time, and we're just expected to give a furry rights behind, which I don't. Am I clear? Am I being funny haha or being funny asshole? So I can't take Lisa Tog Wetzley or LTW seriously in any outfit that she wears. I don't understand what she's doing in this scene anymore. She is wearing what I can call something around her neck that either was purchased at a bargain basement Ross, plastic, because I have a really large television screen and I can go up close and I can tell that looks horrible. And for someone that's supposed to have money and her statue, why do you continue to put her in plastics or Mesopotamian stones from the Stone Age? Why? Why you keep dressing her like that? She's not an ugly woman. She's actually very attractive. They just don't know what to do with a person of her stature. And I would like to know who are these writers' friends that they are mimicking that they look like that, because I would literally go up to them like, no. Even with all the money in the world. No. Stop it. So, being that I couldn't take her seriously while she was blah-blahing her bitching way to her friend, the next scene we have is her blah-blah, her bitching way while she's mashing potatoes. I have to give him credit. Between her and Charlotte, they could have easily gotten cooks and chefs to cook their children's dinner. They are making it seem as these people at their level are actually physically cooking food every night for their family. Now, do I believe it? No. I do believe that there are people who do it, but I do believe there's many of them that don't at that level. But let's go with that. Sure. This is a fake fairyland, so sure. So she's mashing the crap out of these potatoes because she's upset because her friend is leaving after 8 years, not 8 years of doing the documentary, waiting for 8 years to finish the documentary. Where it is, nobody knows. It's like round and round and round we go. Where we stop, it depends on what happens on what day. Her husband finally grew some balls and told her that you're stupid and you should be thankful and it was your fault and shut up. Now, is that what he said? No. Is that what he meant? Yes. Because you got to read in between the lines. Okay? I don't care if men are from Mars and women are from Venus. That's exactly what he said. And then she got upset with him because he put her in her place. I don't know what happened to the mashed potatoes. I don't know if she poisoned them. I don't know. I just don't know that the next scene we see with her is back at the studio with the friend leaving because she took the job. Shocker. And she tells her friend that she's sorry, that she reacted really badly, and her friend accepted it, and away we go. I still don't know anything about this documentary, nor do I care to at this point. I don't know at what level that she left her, but her friend did tell her that it's her vision, it's her dream, and she got this. That's Lisa. And was I entertained at all? No. Did I care? No. Is this going anywhere? Probably not for another 8 years, if that's the way that they're going to do this in. So let's go into now round 3, our top tier dingleberry ding dongs of the show. Oh my God, are you going to be so excited? Oh, I can't wait. Round 3 is coming. Get ready. Round 3. Let's start off with Charlotte. Charlotte is now a mom influencer / pill popping kingpin drug dealer / matchmaker. All in one episode. They gave it to her. Whatever was not happening in the other episodes, they said, no, let's give Charlotte a storyline this time. Is it a good one and it makes sense? No, of course not, because if it did, this entire show would make sense and it would be great. Do you think they're going to take one character and make her better than anybody else? Absolutely not. What are you, crazy? Are you crazy? Because I'm not. Okay, Charlotte. Charlotte has gotten the storyline of wow. I don't know what to call it. Storyline of mom bitcher. She gets upset because she goes to the gallery and the 3 witches of Eastwick tell her that they have after parties after they work, because she leaves at 9:00, assuming that everybody else goes home. No, but apparently in this Galleria world, there's after parties that it's not just after parties, it's after selling parties. So they do sales at these parties in the clubs. And Charlotte's concern is that she goes home and she misses out. But that's not the weird part, because we'll get into that. The most stranger part is that the 3 witches of Eastwick are dressed up in whatever that is. And I'm not saying that people themselves, I'm talking about how they look in those outfits, are upset because they want her to join the club for this woman who's at least 20 years older than them, presuming, I don't know their ages, they look in their young 20s, and that they hate that she's missing out because she's so much fun and poof, that's all I know. Suddenly, I don't know if people really do that, if they want to. I mean, I don't really hang out with people younger than I in a club at night purposefully. But there could be people who want to hang out with me who are 20, 30 years younger than I am in a club at night purposefully. Comment down below. I won't meet you there, but I'll be flattered. So she goes home to her Chariots of Fire family, who is with Anthony and Giuseppe, Breadloaf Man, and she rants on that she is upset because she's missing out on all of this potential sales because she has to come home and cook for her family at 9:00, which I don't know what family eats at 9:00, but let's say that that's what's happening. And the fact that she's strapped to being home to be a provider and a cook for her family. And I go back to, again, I find it very odd. People of that level of money and stature don't have a cook or a chef or the ability to order in. Her children seem to say the same thing, that she does not need to be home all the time, that she chooses to be home. Out of the mouths of babe. She is speaking at the dinner party that she's throwing, that she had to run home and make soup for. Doesn't say if it's canned soup. Could have been, I don't know, what kind of soup. Obviously, it was from scratch. And suddenly, her husband decides to chime in and say that he's being treated the same way at his firm, that because he comes home to his family, they feel that he's boring. I don't really know anything about Harry's job. One day he's an attorney, next day he's a campaign manager for Lisa's husband. I don't know. I don't see his work. We don't know anything about it, so I can only presume that we are supposed to believe this, and that on top of that, they're going to now go to the club because Giuseppe said that, why don't you just go with them? So we have people, which I am perfectly fine with, if they want to be at a club at that age together with a bunch of young people. Good for you. I've seen it. I've heard about it. I haven't been to a club in a good 15 years. Okay. Not putting anybody down. And there could be clubs for people my age that makes more sense. Probably I don't want to do it, but that's fine. That's not my problem. Oh my God. My problem is that Harry needs to buy clothes, and they have made the executive decision on the round table of idiots that the best dressed person to help him find something for the club, and I say this because, attitude daughter, like this from my last video, that one, Lily, is telling everybody that they need to buy clothes. He needs to wear something that's from the club at whatever age group it is. I don't know. So the Knights of the Round Idiots have decided that Carrie would be the best person to dress Harry. I don't know where they got that from. Apparently they didn't get the memo from every person that has been saying, no, she doesn't, but that's fine. He goes with her to buy a pair of jeans that he cannot put on because they're too stiff and they're button fly. And what I find ironic is that Carrie is with him. And if she was helping him, shouldn't she help him actually get the right size pant and actually make sure it fits? No. She's too busy yapping away to somebody on the phone, Samantha 2.0 for her drama, which we'll get into right now. Then we see Harry and Charlotte in the club with a bunch of people from either the gallery and rich people who are buying stuff. Harry had 4 drinks, and they are going to now an after party. Harry's having a heart attack. And he says, before I go to the after party, I need to go to the men's room. He goes to the men's room and he can't unbutton his button fly tight ass jeans. So he pisses on himself. But wait, there's more. Because for $9.99 and for $1 extra, you're going to hear the rest of this crap. Not only does he piss on himself, he goes out to Charlotte and says, honey, I pissed on myself. Please don't worry about me. You can go home. No, you can go with the gala dumby-dums over there and try to sell whatever painting that rich guy is supposed to want to buy. I'm going to just go home. But before I go home, let's take a picture in my wet pants. And he calls it, I went from square pants to wet pants. SpongeBob square pants to SpongeBob wet pants. At least he knows how to make a funny. But she takes out a camera to take a picture of him for the gram in his pissed pants that luckily nobody can see because why are you doing this? Did I warn you? Did I tell you it was going to get any better and I told you it wasn't? I'm telling you the truth. This is the most stupidest freaking storyline I've ever heard in my life. But it's in the gram and nobody knows that he pissed in it. Okay. So now Charlotte is going to the after party with the Witches of Eastwick and the billionaire. Sounds like a horrible or funny TV show. I should maybe think about coining that. And she is trying to stay awake and trying to get this billionaire to buy some painting. And every time, then one of the Witches of Eastwick Gallerina girls is begging help from Charlotte, who's the master of relationships, to figure out how she can sleep with said billionaire that Charlotte is trying to sell a painting to, because she wants him so badly. And she goes on to explicitly say the things that she wants to do to him that no one in their right mind, not even my ears, want to hear. And Charlotte is trying to help her to get said man. And then they find out that there's an after party, and it's already 3 a.m. Charlotte is dying. And then they shove down more martinis down. And then Charlotte is seen on the dance floor doing her infamous 1-step, 2-step dance that she's been doing since Sex in the City. Like, girl, you couldn't find another step? It's the same. Well, go back and watch the episodes of her dance. Literally the same steps. I hate this. I hate this show. I hate it. So she somehow finagles billionaire boy to the bathroom to get him to talk about this said painting she wants him to buy. And suddenly, inadvertently, walks into a den of snort. That doesn't faze her at all. Said billionaire offers her the den of snort. That doesn't faze her. She is trying to get him to look at the girl that wants to sleep with him so desperately. And in her own little Charlotte way, I know a little secret that someone at the gallery that works there has a major crush on you. This guy's getting his loaf on. The yeast is rising exponentially, because if you can't tell that it looks like she's flirting with him, she's lost her freaking mind. And she's like, and he's like, and who is it? And he gets in closer and then he kisses her and she freaks out. Now that freaks her out, because he's shocked, because I thought that she looked like she was flirting with him as well. And she tells him it's the girl that just left. And he says, that's not my type, but I think that women who are married and have children need love too. And she storms out. And it's when she storms out of the club, it's bright as day, as if it's almost 8-9 o'clock in the morning. So she's doing the Charlotte walk of shame home. The next scene you see her is she's back at the gallery. She's putting eye drops in her eye, which must mean that she never went home to sleep. Some rich friend comes in, one of her gabs, and offers to buy the painting she was trying to shovel off to billionaire boy. And she makes her commission, and everything is well in the Charlotte land, because that's how everything is written. It just has no start, barely a middle, and some resolution at the end that makes absolutely no freaking sense. Breathe. Because now we're going to get into the Cinema Chronicles, and then our lovely host, Dingleberry One Carry. Stay tuned for the rest of this minutia.